Heartwarming rescue. Poor girl rushes billionaire's son to ER. Shocking poisoning revealed. Lily stood at the community center, a small-town girl with a heart the size of Texas. Every day was a balancing act, looking after her two younger siblings while their single mom juggled 3 jobs just to keep food on the table. But here, among laughter and bright faces, Lily felt like she could escape the weight of her responsibilities, even if just for a moment. She poured her heart into volunteering, dreaming of a future where she could help people like her, counting every small triumph, each one a glimmer of hope. That summer afternoon, the sun blazed golden over the sprawling estate of the wealthy Vanderbilts, shimmering like something out of a storybook. Lily had been invited to a party that felt worlds away from her own life. Opulent decorations, laughter emanating like music, and the rich people's casual grace. It made her pulse race with a mix of excitement and dread. She never belonged there, yet longed to mingle with the glittering crowd, to be more than just a caretaker. And then it happened. Ryan Vanderbilt, the son of the billionaire family, suddenly staggered, his ashen face shocking in the glow of the afternoon sun. Time froze, and panic gripped her heart. One moment he was laughing with friends, the next he crumpled to the ground. Lily dashed over, instinct kicking in. She knelt beside him, desperately checking for a pulse. The world faded away. It was just them now. "Someone call an ambulance!" she shouted, urgency spilling from her lips. Every second felt like an eternity. When someone finally took action, her heart raced harder. Without thinking, she scooped him into her arms, feeling the warmth of his skin against her own. She could sense the judgmental eyes of his social elite surrounding her, their glances sharp and full of disdain. What did they see? A girl like her, nothing but an unworthy charity case amidst their ivory tower? But Lily didn't care. She had to save him. In the throes of chaos, she rushed him to the nearest ER, adrenaline screaming through her veins, a mantra forming in the chaos: "I won't let him die." Every thought was a desperate plea. The sterile smell of antiseptic overwhelmed her as they burst through the sliding doors. She could see Ryan's parents hovering in the background, horrified and exasperated. As the doctors whisked him away, the whispers began, slicing through the tension. "Who is she?" and "What a shame," rippled through the crowd, their entitlement dripping like venom. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As Lily waited, the tension morphed into whispers and rumors. Everyone was discussing privilege versus perseverance, and she was at the center of it all. The whispers that followed her clung like shadows. But just as the discussions were leaning towards disdain, a shocking twist surfaced. Ryan had been poisoned, and it was tied to his family's unethical business practices. Suddenly, the walls between them began to crack, revealing even more hidden struggles. Lily and Ryan, two worlds colliding, found themselves bound by shared hardships and unexpected alliances. Their stories intertwined through the pain, igniting sparks of understanding in the silence. But just as she thought they were creating a bridge over the chasm of their realities, a sinister letter appeared. A warning from Ryan's father, conveying a dire threat to bury the truth. The stakes rose higher. With her heart in her throat, Lily faced an uncertain future. Would she dare to confront not only Ryan's family, but also the judgment-laden views of a town divided by class? As the shadows grew deeper, one certainty remained. She must fight for what was right, for herself and for Ryan. The question lingered, echoing in the silence. Was she ready to become the voice for change? The waiting room was a strange vortex of anxiety and whispers, a world teetering on the edge of suspense. Lily felt like a ghost in a land of the living, every eye there treating her like a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. Her fingers fidgeted with the hem of her shirt, each passing moment a reminder that she was an outsider. The golden chandelier lights sparkled above, yet they felt cold and distant. The sound of heels clicking against marble flooring echoed, each step resonating with judgment. When the door swung open, her heart leaped. A doctor emerged, his face etched with a professional mask that betrayed nothing. Lily felt the stares of the Vanderbilts pierce her skin. They were clutching each other, helpless yet so far removed from her world. "I need to speak with the family of Ryan Vanderbilt," the doctor announced, his tone clipped. "That's us," Ryan's mother called, her voice a mix of desperation and disbelief. Lily stayed still, a statue in the background, afraid she'd shatter. The faint hum of the room turned into a deafening roar as a wave of emotions rolled through her. Would they blame her? Would they accuse her of being the reason for their son's peril? Finally, the doctor turned his attention to her. "You were with him when it happened. Can you tell us everything?" As words tumbled from her mouth, recounting the frantic moments of that fateful day, she felt weighty eyes upon her, searching for faults. I just acted. I wanted to save him," Lily's voice cracked, vulnerability spilling out like an open wound. Standing alongside the Vanderbilts felt surreal. The mismatched backgrounds painted their private lives in shades of contrast. Ryan's mother nodded, her expression softening momentarily. "Thank you for being there for him." Lily's heart warmed, but was quickly followed by the chill of reality. The unspoken thoughts loomed in the air. The doctor excused himself, leaving the Vanderbilts huddled in confusion. Lily lingered close, an unwelcome presence, but she wouldn't back down. This was bigger than her anxiety. She had to know what happened. Suddenly, Ryan's father, Mr. Vanderbilt, strode up to her. He was imposing, a man of wealth and power, and for the first time, she saw the cracks in his armor. "Do you think you can just walk into our lives and make demands?" His voice was low and dangerous, barely concealing the anger that bubbled below the surface. "Please, I want to help Ryan," she pleaded, her resolve faltering as she faced the storm. "Whatever you're keeping hidden, it matters. It's about him." The tension electrified the air between them. "You think you understand our lives? This is a business, not a charity." He stepped closer, the threat barely veiled in his words. "Please, I want to help Ryan," she pleaded, her resolve faltering as she faced the storm. "Whatever you're keeping hidden, it matters. It's about him." The tension electrified the air between them. "You think you understand our lives? This is a business, not a charity." He stepped closer, the threat barely veiled in his words. In that moment, determination surged in her. Her circumstances did not define her worth. "No," she countered, clear and steady. "It's about people. Your son can't be just collateral in some scheme. This isn't just a business deal." Their eyes locked, the atmosphere thick with unspoken burdens. What if she was too deep now? What if Ryan's fate lay in more than just medical hands? "Get away from here before you regret it," he hissed, his voice dropping dangerously low. Lily inhaled sharply, a wellspring of anger and fear battling inside her. From the very beginning, she had been marked by a world that had never welcomed her. But even with the threat hanging in the air, her heart buzzed with unexpected clarity. She couldn't walk away. This was her call to action, and she wouldn't let fear dictate her path. As she turned to leave, every heartbeat echoed determination. The secrets buried beneath the Vanderbilt's name were rippling to the surface, and she would not turn her back now. A roar of emotion washed over her as the weight of her choice hung palpably in the flimsy veil of the hospital's fluorescent lights. Would she risk everything she had to unravel the truth? As Lily stepped out of the waiting room, a fierce resolve burned in her veins. She would be the voice for those who yearned for justice, even if it meant facing the odds stacked against her. And just before plunging into the unknown, her phone buzzed with a notification, a message from Ryan. Had he somehow sent her a signal from his bed? Hope flared in her chest, and she clicked it open, unaware that it would alter everything she thought she knew. Was this the beginning of an alliance that could change everything? The notification from Ryan illuminated her screen. A beacon in the storm. Her fingers tingled with anticipation as she opened the message, her heart racing. It was just a single line. "Help me." A lump formed in her throat. Help him? But how? He was in a hospital bed, clinging to life, and she was standing here, stark and uncertain, thrumming with raw energy. She felt a voice inside of her, small but insistent, pushing her forward. It wasn't just about advocating for Ryan anymore. It was about uncovering the truth. With newfound determination, Lily stepped out of the sterile waiting area and into the buzzing hospital corridor. Her mind raced. What could he possibly be hinting at? Why send a message like that? She needed to find out, needed to know what Ryan was fighting against, and if there was any way she could assist. The hospital felt larger now, alive and filled with shadows and whispers. She quickened her pace, swerving around clusters of nurses and families huddled in small groups, their faces reflecting anguish and dread. Names floated in the air like lost hopes. Ryan, Vanderbilt, poison. Each word turned over in her stomach. A nurse passed by, and before she could second-guess herself, Lily reached out. "Excuse me, where can I find Ryan Vanderbilt?" The nurse paused, glancing at her with a hint of recognition. "Room 204, she said softly. "He's stable but critical. Just remember to be gentle with him." Every word was a jolt, sending Lily running toward the room. The cool white walls of the corridor seemed to close in around her, each step fueled by desperation. She pushed the door open, heart pounding, and glimpsed Ryan lying motionless in the hospital bed. Machines beeped rhythmically, a mechanical heartbeat that contrasted sharply with the chaos in her mind. He looked pale, too still. A sense of urgency coursed through her. She had to reach him before it was too late. Stepping closer, she leaned over him, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. "Ryan," she whispered, her voice wavering. "I got your message. I'm here for you." His eyelids fluttered. Suddenly, a faint flicker of recognition crossed his face, and he squeezed her hand weakly before drifting off again. She inhaled sharply, buoyed by that glimmer of focus, and turned toward the equipment monitoring his vitals. What had he meant by "help me"? And more importantly, what danger was he still in? The answer gripped her heart like a vice. Had he been poisoned? The thought was chilling. She remembered the tense conversation with Mr. Vanderbilt and the veiled threats that hung in the air. What if it wasn't an accident? What if someone wanted to silence him? Determined to dig deeper, she resolved to find out who might wish harm upon him. But first, she knew she had to speak with someone who could shed more light on this troubling situation. Just as she turned to leave, the door swung open, and the tension escalated. A man walked in, sharp and imposing. Wearing a suit that screamed authority. He had the unmistakable Vanderbilt look, wealthy, cool, and composed. "What are you doing here?" he snapped, eyes narrowing. "Who are you?" Lily demanded, anger flaring up as she steadied herself. "I'm with the family," he said curtly. "You need to step away." "I can't. I need to know what happened to Ryan." Her voice rang with urgency, surprising even herself. But before he could respond, a detailed voice crackled from the wall unit. "Ryan Vanderbilt's condition is deteriorating." Her heart sank. There was no time to waste. "Find out what's going on," she urged, determination blazing in her chest. She wouldn't back down now. The stakes were higher than she ever imagined. Whatever secrets lay hidden behind the Vanderbilt name were worth fighting for. Lily took a step toward the man, ready to challenge him, when a thought struck her. What if he was more than he appeared? What if he held the key to unraveling the truth? And in that moment, she realized she must forge unlikely alliances if she hoped to save Ryan and herself. What if the battle for Ryan's survival was just beginning? Her heart hammered in her chest, and adrenaline coursed through her veins as the imposing man stepped closer, a wall of cool composure blocking her path. "I don't have time for this," he said tersely, dismissing her with a wave of his hand. "Look," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper, "I know Ryan needs help. I'm not just a random girl. I care about him." The intensity of her words hung in the air, fueled by a fear she couldn't shake off. The man hesitated, his expression softening, though just slightly. "That's not what it looks like." "Then what is it?" she cut in. "What happened? Did someone hurt him?" The man's eyes narrowed. "You don't know what you're dealing with." "But I'm here. I can help him," she insisted, her desperation leaking into her voice. "Just tell me what I need to know." For a moment, silence stretched between them. The tension crackled like static electricity in the air. Finally, he sighed, a deep and weary sound, as if the weight of the world rested on his shoulders. "Fine. Ryan received a threatening message a few days ago. It came from someone inside the family, someone who wanted him to keep quiet about certain projects." Projects? Her heart raced with confusion and dread. Trust funds for environmental research that could expose corruption, and it goes deeper than that, he replied, glancing around the room. "If the right people get wind of what he knows..." His voice trailed off, leaving an ominous shadow hanging over them. She paused as the implication of his words hit her hard. "You think someone poisoned him because of that?" "I didn't say that, but..." He looked at her, meeting her gaze with a mix of pity and caution. "You're treading into dangerous waters, Lily." "Dangerous isn't even the half of it." "Right now," she shot back, fire igniting in her belly again. "He needs me. I can't just stand by and let this go unnoticed. I'm not afraid." "Maybe you should be." His eyes darkened, and for a brief moment she saw a flicker of something, fear or regret? Just then, a scuttle of noise erupted from the hallway. They both turned as the door opened, revealing a doctor, his white coat slightly ruffled. "We need to move quickly. We're preparing for an emergency procedure. Please stay out of the way." Lily's blood ran cold. Emergency procedure? It felt like a punch to her gut. "What do you mean, emergency?" she called out, stepping forward. "What's wrong with Ryan? Is he going to be okay?" The doctor met her gaze with gentle empathy, yet his eyes bore the weight of grim reality. "We're doing everything we can, but right now he needs immediate intervention." She felt her legs turn to jelly, wanting to scream, to protest. "I can't lose him, not like this." "Ma'am," the doctor's voice became firm, "if you care about him, you need to let us do our job, please." With an aching heart, she nodded, feeling helpless but resolved. There was no way she would simply walk away. She'd just have to find another way to help him. She needed to dig deeper, to explore the lead the man had hinted about. As the medical team moved in and out of the room, she glanced at the man who had given her the chilling news. "I need to speak to you," she said, determination flooding her voice. "When this is over, we're going to uncover the truth." But he barely replied, his cold expression revealing nothing. He turned his head away, blending back into the shadows of the room. Lily felt a shiver run down her spine. She was standing on the precipice of something terrifying. The battle for Ryan's life felt deeper than just physical danger. It was a tangled web of power, betrayal, and secrets just waiting to explode. As the doctor and nurses prepared Ryan for surgery, she vowed silently to herself that this was only the beginning. Once this ordeal was over, she would find the answers, whatever it took. The stakes couldn't get any higher, but without the truth, how could she hope to save him? What dark revelations awaited her when the smoke cleared? Lily paced the waiting room like a caged animal, her mind racing with possibilities as time stretched painfully on. The fluorescent lights above buzzed softly, blending into a symphony of murmured conversations and distant beeping machines. Each second felt like an eternity, and with every tick of the clock, a deep sense of dread settled in her chest. She caught sight of the imposing man again. He stood apart, arms crossed and face hardened. Despite his tough exterior, Lily thought she could glimpse a hint of concern in his eyes when he glanced her way. But then he turned back to the waiting room doors, as if that single act could shield him from whatever lay ahead. "Why won't they tell us anything?" she muttered under her breath, frustration bubbling up. Only her lingering fear of Ryan kept her from shouting. A nurse walked by, her stony expression betraying nothing, but Lily caught her eye and held on, desperate. "Please, is there any news?" The nurse paused, but shook her head slightly. "They're still working on him." Disappointment crashed over Lily like a wave. She wanted answers. She needed to know that Ryan was going to be okay. Taking a deep breath, she forced herself to remain calm. She couldn't allow panic to take over. It would only cloud her judgment. The recent revelation about the threats Ryan had received played over and over in her mind. Someone in his circle was dangerous, someone willing to go to extreme lengths. That brought a chilling realization. If they could put Ryan in danger, they might target Lily too. She couldn't ignore that fear, even as it gnawed at her insides. The minutes dragged on. Lily's legs bounced nervously as she found her gaze drawn back to the man. He seemed lost in thought, his brows furrowed as if he were weighing heavy decisions. She realized she might need to confront him again, to pry more information from him. "Hey," she said, striding toward him. He turned, and for a moment, the hardness in his eyes softened ever so slightly. "What is it?" "What do you know?" she asked, her voice steady despite the torrent of anxiety beneath. "You have to tell me everything. If someone is behind this, if they wanted to silence him, I need to understand how deep the rabbit hole goes." He hesitated, then narrowed his eyes. "You think you can handle the truth?" "I have to." The words came out stronger than she felt. Something flickered in his expression, and she thought she could see a world of pain and knowledge that he hadn't shared with anyone. "All right," he said reluctantly. "But this isn't just about Ryan. It's bigger. There are people involved who will do anything to protect their interests. If you dig too deep, you could find yourself in danger." "I'm already in danger. I just want to help him." Determination surged in her voice. Just then, the doors to the OR swung open, and a doctor stepped through. His coat was stained with sweat, and his face bore the stress of the last few hours. "Miss, are you with Ryan Matthews?" The world around her faded. The man, the tension, they all blurred, centered around that single moment. "Yes, how is he? Is he?" Her voice trembled. "Ryan is stable for now, but we need to monitor his condition closely." Relief washed over her, but it was short-lived. "Can I see him?" The doctor's expression hardened again. "Not right now. He needs rest. We still need to run tests." But she could feel the edges of panic returning. "What if there's something more? What if whoever did this?" "Miss, I understand your worry," the doctor interrupted, his tone gentle yet firm. "But right now, the best thing you can do is wait. Focus on yourself." But as she stood there, she knew waiting was not enough. She had a sense that challenge lay ahead, that she was only at the beginning of something vast and convoluted. She needed to uncover the truth, and with it, the dangers lurking in the shadows. With renewed resolve, she shot the man a determined glance. "We will find out who did this. I will not rest until I know." But as she turned back to the doctor for more details, uncertainty clawed at her. Was she ready for the storm that surely lay ahead? What if finding the answers meant stepping directly into the heart of a dark conspiracy? Would she be strong enough to face it? Lily stepped back, her heart still racing, as she absorbed the doctor's words. The weight of his warning pressed down on her. She felt as if she were in a dream, one that could shatter at the slightest nudge. She turned to the man again, but he was already moving away, his expression unreadable. "Wait," she called, her voice cracking slightly. He paused but didn't turn back. The frustration bubbled beneath her surface. "I need to know everything you can tell me. I can't do this on my own." After what felt like an eternity, he relented and faced her, tapping his fingers against his forearm. "Fine. Meet me outside when this is over. We can talk there." "Promise?" she pressed, her eyes wide. "I promise," he replied, just before stepping through the waiting room doors, disappearing into the corridor beyond. With him gone, Lily's focus shifted back to the doctor. What happens now? He sighed, glancing toward the OR. "We'll run some tests. We need to understand what happened to him. Poisoning isn't a simple matter." The word echoed in her mind. Poison. Someone had wanted to harm Ryan, and the thought pulsed through her like a drumbeat. A gnawing sense of urgency filled her. If he was targeted, maybe she would be next. But she had to find out why. Lily paced again, her thoughts racing. Each moment was filled with dread and an irritating uncertainty. She wondered what else Ryan had hidden from her. The idea that he might be involved in something dangerous turned her stomach. After what felt like hours, the waiting room began to empty. Families received news, some joyful, others devastating, while Lily remained locked in her own whirlwind. She needed to channel this turmoil into action, and the man had given her a lead. Finally, the sound of wheels squeaking made her jump. A nurse approached her with a clipboard. "Miss, are you related to Ryan Matthews?" "No, but..." The nurse's stern gaze softened slightly. "You should know that he is going to be okay, but the tests might take a while. It really is best if you take a moment to care for yourself." Lily managed a small nod, but felt a storm brewing inside her. "I can't just sit. Can you tell me if he's conscious?" The nurse hesitated before looking down at her clipboard. "I can't say for certain." Disappointment washed over Lily as she replied softly, "Thank you anyway." With renewed determination, she stepped into the corridor, feeling the buzz of urgency within. She had a meeting with the man, and with each step, her heart raced faster. The flickering fluorescent lights cast eerie shadows, matching the tension in her veins. What would this man reveal? Outside, the air was crisp, a stark contrast to the heavy air inside the hospital. She spotted him leaning against a wall, deep in thought. As she approached, she took a moment to study him again. There was something familiar about him, as if she'd seen him before. But her thoughts were interrupted as he straightened up. "Did you get your questions answered?" he asked, crossing his arms. "Not even close. I want to know everything now. Who did this? Why Ryan?" He regarded her with wary eyes. "You really want to dive deeper into this?" "Yes, he's my everything," she exclaimed, frustration spilling out. "If someone meant to hurt him, I can't just sit back and do nothing." For a moment, he seemed torn. "Fine, but you need to understand this isn't just some petty crime. This goes beyond just him. There's a web of power and money involved. You could put yourself at great risk." "I don't care," she shot back, her breath hitching. "I love him and he needs me." "Then let's not waste time." With that, he leaned in closer and whispered, "Meet me at the old warehouse tomorrow night. I'll show you what you're really dealing with." As he walked away, Lily felt a mix of fear and excitement coursing through her. A warehouse? Was this the lead she needed, or would she be stepping into danger? But one thing was clear. This was her chance to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Would she find answers, or only more questions waiting for her in the dark? Lily stood still for a moment, absorbing the cold air around her. The man's words churned in her mind, a bitter cocktail of fear and hope. She could feel the urgency tugging at her heart. The thought of Ryan in pain ignited a fire inside her. She was unyielding. She needed to act. "Tomorrow night," she whispered to herself, the words tasting heavy on her tongue. Somehow, she didn't want to think about how dangerous it could be. Now, it was about Ryan. Everything hinged on that. Back inside the hospital, the sterile surroundings felt stifling. She moved to a bench, her fingers tapping nervously against her thigh. What if the man was lying? What if Ryan's condition was worse than they were letting on? Each tick of the clock felt like a countdown to something dire. Grabbing her phone, she stared at Ryan's picture on her screen. His face lit up with laughter. How would they reach this point? The uncertainty gnarled at her stomach. Tears threatened the corners of her eyes, but she blinked them back, refusing to break down now. Just then, a familiar voice broke through her thoughts. "Lily, there you are!" It was Ryan's sister, Sarah, rushing toward her with a worried expression. "I couldn't find you. Do you know what's happening?" "Not much," Lily said, trying to steady her voice. "They're still running tests." Sarah shifted nervously. "I'm sure he'll be okay. Mom is—" She paused, glancing back. "Mom is losing it. You know how she gets." "I know," Lily whispered, heart aching for both Ryan and the storm brewing within his family. Sarcasm dripped into her throat. "You really think he'll be okay?" she asked bluntly, unable to mask her concern. "He has to be. He's strong," Sarah insisted, but there was a hitch in her voice that suggested doubt. Before Lily could respond, the woman from the rehab unit, a familiar face, walked past, a blank expression in her eyes. "I heard the news about Ryan," she said. "You should take care of yourself, too." Those words resonated with Lily like a bell, but she brushed them aside. "I can't just sit back," she replied, determination returning. "I want to help him." "The doctors know what they're doing." Sarah glanced away, her tension palpable. "Maybe you should trust them." Trust? In this maze of mistrust and shadows? "Sarah, if someone poisoned him," Lily said quietly, "what if it's not over? What if they come after him again?" Sarah shook her head like a marble rolling down a hill, her own fears surfacing. "We can't think like that." But the worried crease in her brow told a different story. Suddenly, a loud alarm echoed through the floor, and chaos erupted as medical staff scrambled to their stations. Lily's stomach dropped. "What's happening?" she shouted to no one in particular. Sarah gripped her wrists tighter. "We should find out." Fear shone in her eyes as they both turned toward the elevators. Before they could reach the stairwell, a doctor emerged, his scrubs stained with worry. "Family of Ryan Matthews?" he called out. Lily's heart raced. "Yes, what's happening?" "Please, follow me." The doctor nodded with a grave expression, leading them closer to the OR. "He's responding well, but we need to discuss some things." As they hurried after him, the air felt thicker, and a shiver ran down Lily's spine. What new revelations would unfold? Would Ryan pull through? The cords of fate were tightening, and Lily's resolve fed her spirit as she moved closer to the unknown. But at the same time, a looming question nagged at her. If she chose to confront the shadows of Ryan's life, could she handle the darkness she might uncover? The weight of what lay ahead hung in the air, and Lily knew she was standing on the brink of something monumental. Revealing Ryan's secrets could either shatter her heart or help her heal it. The stark fluorescent lights of the hallway flickered above them as Lily struggled to keep pace with the doctor. Her breath came in shallow seeps, anxiety wrapping around her chest like a vice. "Is he okay?" she pressed, her voice thickening with each word. "What does this mean?" The doctor paused, glancing back at them. "He's stable for now," he said, but his solemn tone offered little reassurance. "We need to monitor him closely. The tests have indicated the presence of a potent toxin. We believe he was poisoned." Poisoned. The word hit Lily like a brick. It grounded her in an icy reality. "It wasn't just an accident," she murmured, hands trembling at her sides. Sarah gasped, both realization and fear crashing into her expression. Who would do something like that? The doctor led them into a small, dimly lit room with a single bed where Ryan lay. Monitors beeped rhythmically, a pulse of life amid the sterile chaos. His face was pale, and an IV dripped liquid into his veins. In that moment, he looked so fragile, not the confident and spirited man she loved, but a shadow of himself. "I need a moment," Lily said, stepping forward as Sarah lingered back, overwhelmed. She walked to the side of Ryan's bed, taking in every detail. The faint rise and fall of his chest, the way his hair fell across his forehead. Her heart ached. All at once, the questions flooded her mind. How had this happened? Why? Who was responsible? She reached for his hand, interlacing her fingers with his, a silent promise of solidarity. "I'm here," she whispered, hoping he could feel her presence, feel her love pouring into him like a warm blanket. "You're going to get through this. I won't let you go." A small squeeze of his hand sent a current of hope buzzing through her. She could feel the warmth of his palm, reminding her of weekend picnics and late-night talks. Their laughter felt distant now, as if it belonged to another life. As Lily leaned closer, the doorway creaked open, and the doctor returned. "We need to discuss possible next steps," he said, cutting through the moment. "This kind of poisoning requires immediate action. We need to identify the toxin to administer the correct antidote." "Is there a chance it could be too late?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, the weight of dread pressing against her. "If we act quickly, there's a high likelihood we can stabilize him further," he replied, his gaze flicking to Ryan with a glimmer of compassion. "But we may need your help in gathering information of what he was exposed to." Lily's heart raced. She was just getting started. "Of course, whatever you need, I'll do anything." "Good," the doctor nodded, his expression softening. "We'll need a
list of anyone he's been in contact with recently." Sarah stepped forward, urgency in her stride. "I'll reach out to his friends, see if anyone noticed anything unusual." Lily looked back at Ryan, resolve flooding her again. "I won't let them hurt you again." As the two women began to strategize, her mind raced through the possibilities. What dark corners had Ryan been exploring without her? What hidden world had he been navigating alone? The truth could lead to answers or danger. "I'll find the person behind this," she promised, her voice firm. "I won't stop until I know who put this poison in him." But as they moved to leave, doubt crept in. Would uncovering the truth strengthen their bond or threaten to tear them apart? Just then, a shadow loomed in the hallway, a figure lurking beyond the door. Lily's pulse quickened. Was it someone here to help or someone sent to hurt? Dread washed over her. As the air thickened with uncertainty, she knew one thing. The fight for Ryan's life was just beginning, and the shadows were only growing darker. The figure in the hallway stepped forward, revealing a familiar face that made Lily's pulse spike in both recognition and dread. It was David, Ryan's estranged brother, a man whose presence felt like an unresolved riddle. Tension gripped the air, twisting her gut. Why was he here now, during such a dire moment? "Lily," he said, his voice a mix of concern and confusion, his eyes flicking to Ryan's still form. "What happened?" "Ryan was poisoned," she replied sharply, her protective instincts kicking in. "You should leave." "Leave?" David's brows knitted together. "I'm not going anywhere. He's my brother." Doubt flickered across Lily's mind. David had always been the black sheep, the shadow looming over the family drama. Just days ago they had barely exchanged words, yet here he was, possibly holding pieces to the puzzle. "Did you see anything unusual? Anyone bothering him?" she pressed, grasping at any thread that could lead her to the truth. David looked conflicted, his gaze dropping to the floor. "There was someone. I overheard a conversation the other night. Ryan was upset about a business deal. He mentioned feeling threatened." Lily felt her heart race again, the prospect of deception pulling her in. Do you know who he was dealing with? No, but David hesitated, running a hand through his hair. There were warnings about rivals in his industry, shady characters. I didn't think much of it until now. The doctor stepped out of the shadows, piqued by the interjection. This information could help, he said, sharply. Anything else you know? I can dig through some contacts, David offered, his demeanor shifting. I have connections in the business world. I can find out who might want to hurt Ryan. Will you? Lily asked, her voice almost pleading. Could she trust him? They had always been at odds, yet she couldn't deny the urgency of the moment. David nodded.
I'll do whatever it takes. But first, we need to focus on Ryan. You stay with him. I'll get to work. As David left, Lily turned back to Ryan. Time felt like sand slipping through her fingers. She squeezed his hand tighter, needing him to know he wasn't alone. You're going to be okay, she whispered. We'll figure this out. The monitors hummed around them, grounding her in the reality of their fight. Hours crept by, each tick of the clock echoing in her chest. Nurses came and went, administering medications and checking vitals. The waiting felt endless. Sarah returned, her face pale. I reached out to some of Ryan's friends. They said he's been more stressed lately. He's been keeping secrets. Secrets? Lily's voice was thick with rebuilding fear. What kind of secrets? Things he'd never tell you about. Business risks, spending time with questionable people. He tried to shield you from his world, but something slipped. Sarah's expression was locked in concern, mirroring Lily's turmoil. Lily's heart sank further. Anger at Ryan's choice to hide things from her twisted into fear for his safety. What if he was caught in something too deep for him to climb out alone? Let's not wait. I have to know what he's mixed up in, Lily said, resolve hardening in her chest. He won't face this alone anymore. The stakes felt higher with each revelation, and ever since the doctor had mentioned a potential suspect, a knot in her stomach tightened. As she looked back at Ryan's still form, determination surged through her. She would do whatever was necessary to unearth the truth. Before she could take a step out of the room, the power cut out. The beeping monitors fell silent, plunging them into darkness. Panic rose as the emergency lights flickered on. Lily's heart raced. What just happened? She whispered, feeling the ominous shift in the atmosphere. Just then, a whole new level of fear gripped her. She had a mission, and now obstacles were closing in. The game was just beginning. Who or what was standing in the shadows, waiting to strike next? The darkness enveloped the room, thick and suffocating. The piercing silence felt like a weight on Lily's chest. She couldn't let fear take hold. Not now. Stay close, she urged Sarah, as they both instinctively moved toward Ryan's bed, seeking the faintest glow from the emergency lights. There was no telling what had caused the power outage, but in this moment of vulnerability, her protective instinct kicked in. Lily, this is bad, Sarah whispered, her voice trembling slightly. I can't let anything happen to him, Lily said, determined. She reached out, her fingers brushing against Ryan's hand, feeling the warmth of life beneath her touch. We need to find out what's going on. I'll stay with him. Maybe we should find someone, get help, Sarah suggested, her eyes scanning the dimly lit hallway. No, Lily shook her head, feeling a surge of resolve. If there's a threat, we can't leave him alone. We already know someone wanted to harm him. We stick together. Then they heard it, a low, rumbling noise echoing through the corridors, followed by sudden voices sounding alarmed. It wasn't just the power outage. Something deeper was happening, and they could be caught in the middle of it. Without warning, the emergency lights flickered and the backup generators kicked in. An eerie glow illuminated faces of the medical staff as they hurried through the hallway, moving with urgency. "Lily," a nurse called, "we need you to stand back. We have a critical situation." "What's happening?" Lily asked, fear creeping into her voice. "An intruder has breached the floor. We need to evacuate," the nurse urged. "Evacuate?" Panic swelled in Lily's chest. "Not Ryan. Not now. No, he can't be moved." The nurse hesitated. "Ma'am, we have protocols for this." "No, you don't understand. He's unstable. He needs this room." "Lily, we have to go," Sarah shouted, gripping her arm. But Lily's heart raced with a mix of determination and desperation. Then her phone buzzed fiercely in her palm, breaking through the chaos. Fumbling, she glanced down at the screen. A message from David read, "I'm on my way. I'll help. Protect Ryan." Hope surged within her. "Wait, we can't just leave," she pleaded with the medical staff as they ushered people away. "We need time. We need to figure this out." "We'll get him to safety," the nurse insisted, but Lily couldn't shake the feeling of dread washing over her. "Just a few more minutes," she begged, standing firm. "He's fighting for his life. I can't let you take him without knowing he's safe." The nurse exchanged glances with her colleagues. They hesitated, but Lily's fierce eyes held them in place. "Fine," the nurse snapped, "but only until we get an all clear. It's not safe here." Lily breathed deeply, heart pounding against her ribs. She stilled, focusing on Ryan. This was the moment. "Please, Ryan, fight back," she whispered. "You have to come back to us." Her fingers delicately brushed his brow, and she willed him to hear her. Time trickled slowly. She could hear distant footsteps and muffled shouts, moments feeling like hours. Each tick of the clock echoed ominously. Who would dare breach this sanctuary? Suddenly, the door burst open. Breathless, David rushed in, wild-eyed and determined. "Lily, they're evacuating patients. I have contacts outside to call for help." Without wasting a second, she rushed to him. "You have to keep them away from this room. We can't let anyone take Ryan." "Stay focused," he said, urgency coloring his tone. "I heard communication about someone wanting him taken out of here. It's bigger than we thought." Her heart sank. "I can't believe this is happening. They're trying to kidnap him?" "There might be plans in motion. We can't trust anyone on this floor. Come on." David grabbed her hand, pulling her closer. "No, I won't abandon him." She fought back, her voice steady. "He's not just another patient. He's family to me." David's gaze softened but hardened again. "We need to be smart. If they come for him, they'll go after you too." Determination surged. "Then I'll protect him with everything I have." Just then, Ryan's eyelids fluttered, and Lily leaned down, desperation flooding her heart. "Ryan?" He blinked a few times, his gaze unfocused. "Lil?" Tears sprang to her eyes. "Yes, you're okay. Stay with me." But then the shadows loomed darker, footsteps echoing closer, and she knew they had little time. "David, what's the plan?" "Trust me," he answered, a steely look returning to his stance. "We'll take Ryan and escape out the back. I have a car waiting." The blood drained from her face, panicking for what would come. "But it's a risk we have to take. We need to get him away from here and figure this out together." They rallied around Ryan's bed, steadying him between them. You see, reforged bonds stronger than steel. Somewhere deep inside, Lily's heart swelled with love and fierce loyalty. "Keep breathing, Ryan," she encouraged, feeling the pulse of community coursing through her veins, even as the chaos swirled. This wasn't just about survival. It was about fighting for truth and reclaiming their lives. As shadows drifted closer, determination surged. Fear morphed into strength. Whatever was lurking out there, they'd take it on together. With each heartbeat, Lily knew one thing. They would carve their path through the darkness. This battle was only the beginning, and they would emerge into the light. As they made their way from the bed, she whispered a promise. "You're not alone. We'll find the truth together." In that moment,
everything shifted. Hope ignited and lit the way forward, guiding them through whatever darkness awaited. This was their fight, and she wouldn't back down. Now is the time for the moment of action. You need to subscribe now to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming adventures. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm and show your support for more stories like this. Comment below and share your thoughts and feelings about this riveting ending. What did it stir in you? And please share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the word. Join us in this journey of truth, love, and fighting for what is right.